Enough is enough. They say choose our battles, but once somebody has chosen to battle us, we have now chosen our battle. Welcome to Alliance Against Communism, where people of traditional faith come together to defeat a common enemy. Communists have to destroy what is called the Four O's to implement communism: traditional custom, culture, habits, and ideas. We of AAC will use traditional custom, culture, habits, and ideas to destroy these godless bastards wherever they are. Moral subversion is done. Their time is up. It's time to fight back. Let's take the fight to them together. Join us today as we fight the good fight. If you are too afraid to tell the truth, they already won.
All right, welcome to AAC. My name is Chris, and I'm here with Eric, and this is going to be our episode 4.
Good evening.
So, if you haven't heard about us, we are a group that are dedicated to destroying Marxism in this country and in the West, and we're here to bring back the foundations of this country, and we're trying to do the right thing and do the good fight. And in this lecture, I'm sorry, I don't call it a lecture, I call it more of a talk that we need to be having as a nation, that we're talking against Marxism. And this subject, we're going to be talking about political correctness and how it aligns with Marxism and how it stifles free speech. So I'm going to let Eric give us a definition of political correctness according to his understanding.
Political correctness is a direct attack not only on freedom of speech, but intellectual freedom. It's essentially censorship.
So they're censoring. So basically the reason why I think they want to censor us, based upon studying history and studying these leftist demons, is that Marxism is based on collectivism. It's against individuality, and the West is built on individuality, and Marxism is built on collectivism. So basically, there should be a healthy balance between individualism and collectivism, but the problem with Marxism, it's basically all collectivism. It stifles out individualism. So what I think they're trying to do is the reason why they're trying to cancel us, they want to cancel conservatives, is because we're going against their collective will. We're going against the collectivist groupthink, and they can't have that. They don't want people to be able to think for themselves. They want everybody to form as one simple group. So anybody that's speaking against their collective, their collective bullshit, they want to cancel you out. And this is the problem: is they see you as a threat because you are standing against what they're trying to do, and we're standing against what they're trying to do. So they basically look at you like you're a heretic or something like that, and they want to basically throw you out. And in this country right now, they try to make you lose your job. Like a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, I was talking of this guy, and I was just speaking the truth. And this guy's like, I'm going to find you and I'm going to fucking have you lose your fucking job. Because I was speaking against, what he was talking about. I was speaking as an individual, and he didn't like that. So what you have to understand is that they're trying to censor us, but we still live in a free country. So they're trying to, attack our reputation, try to get us fired from our jobs and things of that nature. But you have to understand that other countries, if you start talking against the collective will, you get shot or you go to jail. So it can get that bad. And so basically we got to stand up against this tyranny, which is called political correctness. And in this talk, we're going to basically show you how political correctness can lead to dangers, can lead to Marxism, can lead to people being shot by the government, people being put in jail just for speaking against the government. That's political correctness.
It will lead to it.
It will. If you let it go. If we let it go, it will lead to it.
It's heading in that direction as we speak.
Yes, definitely.
Freedom of speech, at least I believe, and I hope that most Americans do believe, that it is our God-given right that allows any issue, political or social, to be worked out in the public square. But the problem is the left doesn't want these conversations to occur. What they want is they want to force their narrative, their conclusions, before the debate ever even begins. This concept of compelled speech, it's unconstitutional, it's undemocratic, and it's just evil. If these leftists prevail, they're in pursuit of controlling the word, we'll end up living in a world that we don't recognize or even want to live in. And if we allow this to happen, then our ability to communicate our disdain towards it will be lost because we have lost the word altogether.
So one thing that I learned when I was doing studies for this this talk we're having is that you're in tyranny, where if you see a wrong and you are afraid to speak about it because of the power of the state, or you're afraid of this person, or something bad's going to happen to me because I'm speaking the truth, then there's a tyrant somewhere who you're afraid of. That's tyranny. Okay, you should be able, if you see a wrong, you have every right to say something and to speak up. And if you feel that if you have a fear, if I say this is going to happen to me, I better just shut up. That's tyranny. We're heading towards tyranny where you have a fear to speak the truth. And these leftists are trying to create an atmosphere that we're afraid so that we don't speak the truth. Oh, I'm afraid because they're going to ban me on social media. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job. I'm afraid they're going to call me a racist. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of this. This is how tyranny starts. And if you're afraid of it and you comply, you're just making those motherfuckers even more powerful. You're not helping anything. You're not doing anything good. You're just making that piece of shit more powerful.
Exactly. Well, it's not just that they're silencing people like us. What they're doing is they're teaching generations of kids, students, and young people to be raised not to believe in freedom of speech, but rather freedom from speech. That their speech, any form of speech, should be censored if the individual doesn't like it, as if their feelings are more important than the word. Concepts such as sensitivity-based censorship that tries to deem anything hateful or hurtful that criticizes Chris or criticizes myself, they want to censor. I'm sure that they're not going to want to censor us, but they certainly want to censor anything that goes against their beliefs, their meaning, anything that they see as hateful, hurtful. It's just an argument of semantics, the meaning of the word and what kind of power that it actually holds.
So I was reading, I read a lot of news, of course, as you know, I read a lot. I try to keep an eye on what's going on in the country, what's going on, what leftists are doing, what right-wingers are doing. I keep an eye on what's going on. And I read this article that really, really made me, it just turned my skin. It's that, this happened in our state, I believe, that during Halloween, they canceled Halloween because it offends people of color.
I did read about that.
I mean, I just think that's inherently the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, because see that they get, we don't want to offend people of color because Halloween is an American tradition, and you want to surrender an American tradition because it offends somebody? That's where it goes too far. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't practice your own holiday. You can't practice an American institution. You can't practice something that's been practiced for so long because it offends somebody.
Well, this is why
our way of life offends somebody.
But that's why the left does it, because no matter what you say and what you do, it is going to offend someone.
So the bottom line is you have to speak the truth, and like Shapiro says, facts don't care about your feelings, and we have to always remember that, and we can't succumb, and we can't, we're not going to disrupt our way of life because somebody's offended by it. Because you think I give a shit because some leftist is offended by Halloween, for example? But I mean,
like the Halloween thing, is it really about an ideology, or is it just out of control bureaucracy?
That's pretty deep. I think what I really think they're doing is that it's strategic. Is that, like I said, in order to implement Marxism, you have to destroy the roots of whatever country you're in. So if Halloween or anything that's rooted in the country, they have to turn upside down. They have to root it out. Like, for example, they're preaching the hate of the country, saying, oh, white people are racist. America's racist. They practice slavery. They killed all the Indians. So all they do is promoting that, to hate the country. So, for example, I was really greatly disturbed by this, but they were like a couple months ago when they were having baseball games in certain liberal cities. They purposely didn't sing the Star Spangled Banner before the game because they hate America, and that's cutting out a tradition because it offends people. See, that's the problem. We cannot stop our way of life because it offends people. We're given into Marxists by that way. We're letting them destroy the country.
But who does it offend? Is it offending us, or is it offending them?
What do you mean though? Like when you say?
Well, you say the Marxists, these people that are controlling everything, is it really truly offending Americans? Do you think that Americans that are at ball games or at the hockey game or at a football game are really offended?
No, I don't think so at all. I think the Marxists are offended by it because
well, there you go.
They have an agenda and it's going against their agenda.
Okay, so this is exactly why we're sitting here talking to people. Is we need to stand up and tell them to shut up and sit down.
Yes. So we cannot be afraid to do your. We must continue our way of life. We must continue Western Judeo-Christian culture. We must continue the American way of life. It doesn't matter who's offended by it. You continue to do the right thing and continue to live the way we're supposed to live and the way we are, the way we're taught to live, and we will stay this way. And we will not bend for these stupid Marxists because they're trying to destroy the country. Do you really care about offending a stupid Marxist? I'll give you an example. How stupid these Marxists are. I'm telling you how evil these Marxists are. There's this mayor. I don't know what city she's in. God, I forgot. I'm sorry, but her name is she's like this Indian lady from India. She's a Marxist in power in America right now. They just tried to recall her and they failed. So she's still in power. There's actually a Marxist in power in America right now as we speak. And she said something so stupid. She said, we got to stop the mass incarceration of blacks.
Oh, okay, I heard about that.
My God, just think about how stupid that is. Okay, how dangerous that mindset is. First of all, everybody that's in prison right now was arrested on probable cause and convicted beyond a reasonable doubt.
We have due process in this country.
So by saying that she wants to free all the blacks you're basically telling me that you want to set criminals free because you're saying, we got to stop the mass incarceration of blacks. It doesn't matter who's in jail; they're there because they did a crime, and you want to free people because it's racist to put people in prison. They're there for a reason. It's not based on their race; it's based on they committed a crime. And you're saying that you want to free all the black incarceration and all this bullshit, meaning you want to free criminals.
Well, that is a strange argument because are they violent offenders? Because there's obviously because you were in law enforcement when it comes to felonies. There are non-violent felonies, and then there are violent felonies. Do you really want a street full of murderers and rapists?
But that's the problem. They do. It sounds crazy. They might be so stupid. A couple of days ago, I read another article saying that another liberal city wants to do away with punishing drive-by fucking shooters. You imagine? Okay, what happened in California? They altered the theft law because they said it was racist. Okay. And so they altered the theft law. So $950, anything under $950 is a misdemeanor. Yeah. And then what happened? All these black people started stealing like no tomorrow. They were just walking out of the store. They were emboldened. And did you imagine if they stopped penalizing drive-by shooters because it's racist? They would only embolden murderers who shoot into a house. It could be a grandmother in that house. It could be a child in that house. Right. And they don't want to punish people. They don't want to punish these people because it's racist. These people are a threat to America.
It's just hurting black communities is what it's doing.
But think about this though. Let's say we stopped, punishing black drive-by shooters, for example. Okay, if we stop punishing them and they would become so emboldened, they will start coming into our communities and shooting our houses, just like they started stealing. Going into all these white neighborhoods and stealing. They're stealing millions of dollars of merchandise. Imagine if you've emboldened drive-by shooters. It's a threat to the country.
Well, it's like those lawmakers in Chicago that they're constantly letting all this stuff get away. All these criminals get away with committing crimes, and within a week, I think 2 of them had their cars stolen. So they're really not feeling the effects until it actually goes into their community.
So, I feel bad that crimes are happening, but I also am kind of glad in a way that people are starting to wake up, saying, "Look, these liberal policies are not working," and it's making like a mass awakening in the country.
They never worked.
Yeah, I agree. They never worked, but I think people are starting to wake up to the point where, look, what's going on in Chicago, what's going on in California. People are getting murdered every day. Places are getting looted every day. People are waking up. So I'm glad that people are starting to wake up a little bit based on all this crime that's going on. You know what I'm saying? But even though I hate seeing all this crime, I really do.